Hey, what's up, guys? I am TPB Robinizer, and welcome to my MPC Week 2 Team Builder slash game. So, a quick team builder. My opponent is Bardon in the Columbus Carnivines. He's currently 0-1, -1 differential, I believe. So, he had, tight loss week 1, and his team is Kartana, Volcarona, Xurkitree, Gyarados, Landorus, Lycanroc, Dusk, Meloetta, Tangela, Xatu, Togedemaru, Dusclops. So, let's get right into it. So, first up, I am going to show you my Dougie. So, this is a Scarf Dougie. I messed up the speed EVs, but I can't change it because I already played the game. So, I speed tie with the Lycanroc Dusk, which means if I get knocked off or he has Scarf Lycanroc Dusk, it could suck. um, but this is Scarf Dougie with EQ, HP Fire, and Rock Slide. So this thing checks literally every single offensive threat on his team, barring Gyarados, and even then, if it's weak enough, Rock Slide will kill. So Kartana, I outspeed, I HP Fighter 40. Special attack means I will guarantee to Oko. Volcarona, I outspeed Ioko unless he's like Charty Berry. Xurkitree, I outspeed Ioko. Lando, I don't really deal with. However, I have a few answers to that mon, so it's not too big of a deal. Lycanroc Dusk, I outspeed or speed tie, and then Oko. The reason I messed it up is because HP Fire is 30 EVs, so I didn't account for that when I was making my speed. Um, and yeah, Meloetta I don't really deal with, but I have answers to that. Togedemaru I do deal with. So I can check everything other than Gyarados, Meloetta, and Landorus I. So my main way to try and excuse me to try and win this week is to check those three mons and then have a bit of momentum so I can get Dougie in. So here I got Rotom. This thing does check Gyarados pretty well. It can take any hit other than like a +1 Z bounce. I have a little bit of speed for no speed Xatu just in case he brings that. I have Protect to scout for Z moves, whether it be Kartana or Gyarados. Um, let's see. This is also a pretty solid answer to Lando I. The high defense investment and then Leaf Storm means I'll take on pretty much any physical set. Um, it's also my defogger in case I need to get rid of hazards. He only has rocks and it's only on a few of his mons, but I do want to get rid of them if they are up because it sort of ruins my momentum. Um, and yeah, so this really is a great check to Gyarados. It's decent against Lando. It can Volt Switch out on Meloetta. That's yeah. So next up we got Mew. This is Max Fizz Def. This is a better Gyarados answer. And we have T-Bolt to do at least, I think, 80 to it. We have U-Turn to get momentum. Roost for longevity. That's why it's a better Gyarados answer than Rotom. And we do have Stealth Rock because if we get it up, then it sort of neutralizes Volcarona, and even Charty Berry will not live from Dougie. And yeah, so we got Dougie as the offensive threat, and then the momentum here, and defensive threats. So really the only thing that's a bit of an issue for me still is Meloetta. And I guess offensively checking Landorus. And Crawdon can do that very well. Choice Banded Knockoff obliterates all of his team. I am not exaggerating, all of his team. The thing that takes it the best is Gyarados, which is taking 50 after an Intimidate. Like, Z Gyarados. Like, that's insane. Then I have Aqua Jet to help stop setup Volcarona or Landorus. I have Liquidation just to break. I have Brick Break because Kartana could potentially live a banded knockoff if it's Z, so I can sort of deny any setup if he tries to set up on this. And I get a little bit of speed to outspeed and no speed Tangle. So this is the breaker. And yeah. So I decided I couldn't only rely on Dougie to check Volcarona and Xurkitree, because they're huge threats to my team. Dougie can check them, but what if I like miss a rock slide or like it's a Shuka Xurkitree? So I have a secondary answer here, and that is AV Max Bidef Gudra. This will eat anything from a Volcarona, anything from a Xurkitree, even anything from a Meloetta. They can't set up. I can Dragon Tail them out, or I can go for Rock Slide or EQ to take them out. I can Ice Beam against the Landorus, and it's just, this thing is really, really good against his team. I have Sap Sipper, which means Tangela cannot Sleep Powder, Kartana cannot Leaf Blade through my team. Um, yeah, it's just this thing will take anything from any Mon on his team. Maybe like a +1 Z move from Gera will take it out, or maybe Kartana. But this thing is amazing against his team. So lastly, I do want to bring a sweeper because this one is just so it's dumb good against his team, and that is Curse Muck. Um, if I get Cursed boosts up, then Kartana's not touching me. Um, I think I can eliminate Lando fairly early on because it's not really him on that stage unless he tries to late game EQ sweep me, which is not really a viable option considering I have Rotom Mo, which will always be able to take on EQs. And then yeah, so really Kartana and Lando are the only things that will be able to break through this. Maybe Lycanroc Dusk if I don't set up enough. But like this thing can just get pretty free curses against his team, and then his team hates knockoff. Like his switch in doesn't exist. Like I'm not even kidding. His best knockoff answer is Z Kartana or Z Gyarados, and those aren't good answers. Um, I did throw in Poison Jab just in case I need to use this as a quick check to something like a Tangela maybe. So I don't rely on knockoff. I can like damage them if I need to. It can also poison things, which is really good for chipping away. And yeah, so that's the team. And let's get right into it. So switch to the replay and get in here. So I decide that my best lead would be Rotom Mo because I can get momentum on whatever I want. And seeing that he has no Landers means I don't really need an EQ immunity. So I decide to, risk it and go for Volt Switch. He's not really doing much to me, but it's a risk because he could get a lot of damage off on my Rotom Mo. He goes Volcarona, and I get to bring in Dougie and just sort of Rock Slide away. I don't know if he's Chardy Berry yet, so that could be a bit of a threat, but then I do see the leftovers. Rock Slide misses, which sucks, but he goes for Quiver Dance. If he eliminated my Dugtrio here, I might have lost this game because it's easily my best answer to Kartana and Togedemaru, which, I mean, Togedemaru is a threat to my team. Just spamming U-turn and Iron Head, like, it's insane. But thankfully he goes for Quiver Dance, thinking he could outspeed after the Quiver Dance. But he does not, and then Rock Slide is able to take him out on the second try. He brings in Tangela, and I go into my Rotom Mo. I'm immune to Sleep Powder, Leech Seed. The best he can do is knock off. He tries to Sleep Powder, and I just get a Volt Switch off as he goes Meloetta. I can see that the only thing that takes me out would be a Focus Blast, and that's 70% accurate, and that's really not a risk that I don't think he's willing to take. And so I decided Crawdon would be the best play. I can either eliminate his Meloetta, or I guess I could sack it to Focus Blast. But then I get Muck in, and he doesn't stop Muck. Looking at his team, there's no Lando, there's no Lycanroc Dusk with Drill Run. He doesn't deal with Curse Muck well at all. I don't even know what he would switch into it. Maybe Togedemaru, maybe Gyarados. And yeah, so he ends up being a Relic Song set, and he goes for Close Combat. he has the muscle man, as I find out when I knock him out with knockoff. So he man, he really was out there, dude. He was out here trying to sweep me. And I mean, it's not a bad bring against my team at all. Like at all. Thankfully, I think Dougie would have been able to, outspeed Revenge. I got Mew defensively and rode him defensively. But like I said, Cardon wasn't really needed. He decides to bring in Gyarados, and I want to knock off because I do know that Mew's T-Bolt does not OHKO. It does like 80%, but it doesn't OHKO. So I get the knockoff damage, and then I bring in my Mew. Crunch does 0 if you're not Mega. I roosted there in case I was trying to scout. He was trying to Z-move me, and then I would live it. He Dragon Dances again, and I get to throw off the T-Bolt. He brings in Mew, and I decide to U-turn here. He brings in Kartana, and I decide to U-turn here. Mew isn't really needed. Bring in my Dougie, go for the HP Fire, and Kartana's gone. That crit did not matter unless he was Spidef, which is, you know what? If he was Spidef, good for him. I bring in my Mew and just boost off some damage as he tries to Giga Drain me. Then here I decide to U-turn. Oh, I decided to roost again. I lied. I decided to U-turn on the Togedemaru because I don't really touch it. As he goes into his Tangela, and I get to go into my Gudra here. I have Sap Sipper. He can't touch me. Ice Beam is doing 67% with no investment. And I'm going to get that Sap Sipper boost, Ice Beam him for the KO, and then Togedemaru is going to come out. Iron Head does a hell of a lot of damage, and I get to EQ for the win. So, yeah, that was the battle. It was pretty quick, 19 turns. Yeah, it was a quick battle. I'm really glad it ended up going the way it did. I feel like he didn't bring the optimal team against me. I feel like his best bet probably would have included Landorus and maybe even Lycanroc Dusk. I think the ideal way for him winning would have been eliminate my Dougie and then go for Lycanroc Dusk sweep because I don't really have great answers to it. But yeah, it ended up going this way. He did bring some of the lower tier mons, Tangela and Togedemaru. Togedemaru is a threat. It did 60% with an Iron Head. That's pretty spooky. But yeah, so we are now 2-0 with a +9 differential. I think that's a good start to the season. I usually don't start off too hot in MPC. But yeah, that was the match, and I will see you guys next week against BS and the Birmingham Vulpix. Peace.